Oi. All right, so I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. If you want my further thoughts on this, I'll make another video to explore some ideas, but I want to get this out there and kind of help point people in this direction because I think there is something really odd here. If you know someone or you're familiar with a group that digs into things like these or has a mind for it or just has the curiosity to try and dive deeper, please send this to them. Please post it there or this there because this is really odd. And this is something that we really have to wonder about because there's a lot of implications to what could be going on. So at the end of the last video, I was talking about how days to cover is there are two inputs that determine the output of what is days to cover. If we look at GameStop, the most recent days to cover comes to 2.2, and AMC's comes out to 2.07. The caveat here is if you look June 15th came out to 1, March 15th 1. February 26th, 1, February 12th, 1 days to cover, 1 day to cover. Same thing here on AMC. And this is very odd, and here's why. And again, I covered it in the last video towards the end if you're interested in more of my thoughts. Let's go over days to cover again real quick. Days to cover, aka DTC, is equal to your total short interest divided by your average volume over some period. Typically it's 30 days. Depending on who you are or who you work for, it might be 10 days. But ultimately, this outputs a days to cover. How many days does it take to exit a position? Now, when we see these coming out to exactly 1, that really baffles me because of all of the parties involved, right? If this was a one-man army, I'd be more open to the idea that this is an organic event, that this comes out to exactly 1. But when you have God knows how many firms, God knows how many funds, I mean, you think of all of your big dick financial entities that are involved in this, how could it literally be that your average volume is exactly the same as the total SI? How do you have more than one? Okay, so we're assuming there's more than one entity at play here. To have one entity communicate with another, right? Or to somehow say, hey, here's my short interest, make sure yours is mine, or whatever the algebra equation would be for days to cover, so that it comes out to 1. Okay, that's illegal. Okay. To also have, just God, I'm sorry. I need to stay straight to the point here. To also be able to orchestrate the volume over 30 days be, again, equal to your short interest is beyond me. So both sides of the equation. If someone or someone's happens to orchestrate volume in such a way that it equals this, and to also have someone or someone's orchestrate SI to equal this, is uncanny to me. How does that work? How is that possible? There are so many variables at play in markets that to have either of these metrics be controlled in such a way that they equal each other is not organic. And to architect a means at which you could make these two things equal implies some monopoly that is manipulating that, and not necessarily in nefarious terms. I just mean for the literal definition of manipulate. So we got to dig into this. we have to dig into this because that means there's either manipulation of volume or manipulation of short interest. There is no way that of all of the parties at odds in this or at play are able to facilitate such a thing without some means of either illegality or bad play. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now that we're at the end of the video, that's where the information cuts off, and I'm going to go on my tangent. Just think about it. How do you, if you have, like, even just assuming that there's two entities, right? Because it can't be one. We know, like, there are very monopolistic characters in this entire game that we know as Wall Street. But let's just assume, out of rationale, that there is more than one person who can actually contribute to either side of this equation. Okay? To have two parties involved that happen to make these two parts of the equation equal each other. There is no way that out of chance this happens. There is zero. There is zero chance that this happens organically. Whether it's via communicating or just literal punching in numbers that come out to whatever it has to be. It doesn't make sense. So how could you manipulate volume, right? Or manipulate SI? The question I think that would yield a more accurate lens to look through is which is cheaper? Which is cheaper? I think this might be why we see block trades happening all the time in such a way that it suppresses organic sentiment and might explain why everything is so fucking goddamn cyclical and recursive. I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Charlie, somebody figure this out, please, because I have ideas, but as far as the lottery ticket that has happened months in a row, as far as the days to cover report or the FINRA SI report goes for days to cover, the fact that this comes out to 1, just fucking beyond me. Beyond me. This is so fucked. This is so fucked. Please dig into this.